This is partners in the process, 'cause we're built better together.
All right, we're here today with Nicole and
Alicia
with the Muscle Bar. Really happy to have you guys on. This is only the second entrepreneur woman group that we've had on here, and we want to see from your guys' aspect how things run from a woman's perspective, so to speak. You know, we're real big about giving perspective from wives and husbands and things like that, but I really want to see like what goes on in your guys' brains when you're operating a business from a woman's standpoint. So if you guys would, introduce yourselves formally and tell us what you do and how you kind of represent yourself in your company.
Okay. I am Nicole Dunn. I am one of the owners of the Muscle Bar in Sullivan, Missouri. We are a gym. We are a 24-hour facility. We offer tanning, massage chairs, Pelotons, kids room. We have an infrared sauna, all those great things that we kind of include with the membership. We don't charge extra for anything. We're kind of like a one-stop shop for like self-care. Yeah.
Yes.
That's awesome. It's awesome. I personally do go there, so I know
we
how
both
awesome
do.
it is.
Yes.
Yeah. The sauna, all that stuff is amazing, actually. And the facility's how old now?
A little over a year. We opened in January of last year. So
everything's like super new.
Yes.
So how has the reception been since you guys opened the gym as far as the community goes?
insane.
Yeah.
Did not see that coming. Like we kind of were like, okay, we'll be happy if we get like 400 members. We're at like 1,400 right now.
Wow.
So
Did you guys ever run any demos to see like if you're working within this area and your demographics, whatever you guys your target range was, did you guys ever run that to see what your max potential was?
no, we just went for it.
Just went for it? Just threw it in the air and said, let's
we're
go.
just like, let's do it. Yeah, because there's a couple other gyms in the area in town, and they're 24/7 too. So we just kind of were like,
We're going to do things a little bit
we're
differently.
We're gonna try it our way because I seen that everybody has a different way of doing things. So we were like, okay, this is my idea, and then if it's well received, great. If not, we tried.
Yes.
I don't ever want to like not try things.
Yeah.
Right.
So
how do you like working for yourself versus working for somebody else? Like the
well,
challenges or the benefits?
working for someone else is a lot easier because if something goes wrong, I can just take it to the boss,
Absolutely.
but
Yes.
when things go wrong, I am the person that has to deal with that. So I'm learning that things are going to be on fire all the time.
Yes.
Like nothing's ever going to be smooth.
Right.
So that's kind of like what I'm like. At first I was like, hot mess all the time. I'm still a hot mess, but a little more relaxed about it.
Good.
Because
Am I?
part of you kind of
Slightly.
part of you really wants everything to be perfect all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think our idea is that in the beginning it will be perfect all the time because we have this under control. We have a plan. We have it figured out. And then all the fires start, and all you realize you're doing is going around and minimizing the fires so it's not a burning inferno. It's just
Well,
Absolutely.
fires.
When you start something too, you don't want people to see that it's a challenge. You
Yeah.
want people to think everything's great. I've got this under control. There are no problems. And there really are things that go on. Yes.
It's part of it.
Yes.
It's the part of this that we really want people to understand in any business venture whatsoever is that there is always a struggle, and through that struggle is where you find the success.
Yeah.
If everybody thinks they're going to start something and it's just hunky-dory and once I get some money and I have an idea, we'll figure it all out and it'll just be making money. Good luck, because it's not going to work that way. It never does. I haven't talked to one person I've ever talked to, admired myself personally, anything I've ever done, it never goes that way. Sometimes it's on fire for quite a while. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's every day. Every day is something new. Something new every day. And I'm just like, and then I'm like, I just want one day where nothing happens.
Right.
But
It keeps you on your toes, though.
yeah.
So being 24 hours and 7 days a week, do you get any chill time on Saturday or Sunday? Like since you're not in office?
In the beginning, no. Like the first 8 months, no. I was there pretty much every day, all the time. I basically live there. But since we've been open a little over a year now, and I've got really great staff that I trust, I can relax a lot more.
I got you.
That makes a huge difference.
Oh, God. When you have people that you can trust, I'm assuming
Yeah.
she's speaking about you as one
Yes.
of them.
Yeah, I would hope so. Since
Yes.
I'm like the only one.
She's my lifesaver. Absolutely.
So what's your role?
Yes.
So I'm the manager at the Muscle Bar.
Okay.
Anything that Nicole really can't handle or does not want to handle, I take full reins on that one, which I try my best to make sure the minimal things get shifted her way. So it's fun. Also, I feel her fire most days, so it's exciting though.
Yeah. She puts out a lot of fires too.
Yeah.
She's
nice.
the main fire extinguisher, so to speak.
Yes. And it's nice too to have that chain of command, I'm sure, in place too, to where even if you've got like your employees or something, they can go to you first, and then if that's an issue, move on.
Has that been an issue setting the structure? Because I know in the beginning it's just you. You know, when you start something, it's just you, and you might have somebody with you, and then there's changes that have to be made, and things have to be adjusted as time goes on. But creating a structure, a framework where there's a hierarchy, so to speak, has that been a problem to institute for people? Was it received well by them? Or?
It really wasn't a problem, because when I first started, I had Brooke, who was my manager before, and she was super organized, super on the ball. She had ran multiple businesses before successfully, so she had like an outline already laid out. She was, okay, it's gonna go this way. I basically just showed up, and she had everything ready to go.
That's awesome.
So she laid the groundwork, and she was fantastic. And then Alicia stepped in, and she is equally fantastic. And I've not had to stress about employees at all since I've opened.
Good.
Because I've had great ones.
So what's your focus been then? If you kind of move those tasks over, what's your new focus?
Just making sure that things run smoothly. I just basically make sure that it stays in the forefront of everybody, that people stay knowing about it, that we're constantly updating things, making sure that our members are satisfied.
Yeah, you guys are constantly adding stuff over there.
Yeah.
I mean, you're adding new equipment. It seems like every month or so you're putting something
We
in there.
we try, because I do think it's important that, we stay up to date, we stay new, we keep up with the trends, we listen to our members about equipment that they want, because there's a lot of different things when we first opened that we did not have. And then, people are like, hey, well, what about this? And we would keep it in mind. And then any money that we get, like, we put right back into the business. We make sure that we're giving it right back to our members. So. And
now you also have classes and different things you guys also work with and promote. So how does that go? How is that going?
So classes are going really well. We have lots of great trainers. We have 3 trainers. They're all fantastic, and we have kids classes.
We do Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6. They're probably one of my favorite things that we have.
Yes.
They're always loaded with kids, and it's just seeing the kids going in there and getting active and having fun, and honestly meeting new friends that they don't even see at school, because some of them are homeschooled. So they get in that environment is just so fun to watch. I even stay late just to watch it, because it makes my heart happy.
That's awesome.
It's really cute to see the kids into fitness.
It's awesome to get them involved.
It's super important. It's super important.
Yes, because I know, like, our kids, because when we go and stuff, they're like, we want to go with you. We want to do that too. And so we like that they're able to see us work out, and then, if they could work out themselves, that would be.
I know you kind of helped me with that recently.
Yeah.
I mean, I was got Dominic involved 2 weeks ago, if maybe a week ago.
Yeah.
And then the poor booger hurts himself right off the bat. So, but now he'll be in there for PT. So.
Oh yeah, true.
That's coming in a couple
yes.
weeks. So he's probably hit the treadmill quite a bit.
Poor kid.
He'll have to get that leg strong again. But I know, as far as like activity within the community, the Muscle Bar does quite a bit. You guys are very active at the chamber. You're very active with events. You're very active with cleanups, and you guys are constantly doing just promotions and different things. So can you explain some of that to us, like why your activity within the community was very important to you?
Yeah. So Kathy Rui is the co-owner with me, and she has always been really, really active in the community. She's like an angel. She is always giving back, and so that was huge for her as well. And I really look up to her. And so when we decided to do this business, we wanted it to be philanthropy heavy. We wanted to give back to the community as much as we could. So we're constantly doing anyone that comes to us for a donation, we basically don't turn them down. We give donations to everybody. We sponsor teams, baseball teams, things like that. And we always want to make sure that we are active in the community, like cleaning it up, just whatever it takes to, better our little area, because, that's important to us. That's our home. That's where we live.
Right.
We want to make it the best that we can. So.
Absolutely. And so I know you're married and you have a couple of children and everything.
Yes. Yeah.
So how is your husband support you in the business and everything that you have going on?
He's been amazing.
Good.
I can't say enough good things about him.
Yeah.
He's the most supportive man in the world.
Uh-huh.
He's been there from day one. Like, even before I started, he was encouraging me to do this. And the whole time when I felt like quitting, he's like, no, what are you talking about? Keep going. Like, suck it up. You've got this.
And some backstory, he's been in fitness for quite a while himself. And,
Yeah.
and like he got you kind of into it, did he not?
Well, we met at the gym.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's how we met.
Yeah.
So we've, like, that's always been kind of our thing together. We would go work out together. We met at the gym. So fitness has always kind of been special to us. But when I threw the idea around of opening a gym, he was just like, okay, so do it. And I was like, I don't know where to start. He's like, you just figure it out. He's like, step 1, step 2, step 3, let's go. I was like,
And
okay.
so when you're, putting it together and painting and all that, putting machines together, I know he was helping. And he's working also.
Laying
Yes.
the
Full-time
pads,
job.
Yes.
And coming in and helping
So
put it together.
we, basically anything that you see put together in there, he did.
It's still doing.
And is still doing. So he would.
I've even put some things together, back together. In there
Yes,
before.
you have. You're like, hey, you got that Allen wrench? But so he's a lineman.
Yeah.
So he, he would work till 6 o'clock at night, and then he would come in and hook up the speaker system, put together anything, desks, anything, because I would just be lying on the floor crying.
Yeah.
And so he would just take over.
care of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's, he's amazing.
So don't you think, though, that has made you stronger as a couple, too? Like,
I think so.
Your passion and,
Yeah. I think so. And
building it together.
sometimes when there's a woman who's like successful or whatever, the man is kind of bitter.
Sure.
But he's like my biggest cheerleader. He's so proud of me, and like it's super cute.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, no, that is awesome. I
Definitely makes a difference, because if he wasn't, you could see how that
Oh,
could
it would be so much harder.
tear you apart.
It'd be so much harder.
and I know he's got that passion within his heart
Mm-hmm.
as well, because we've had conversations about the things that he wants to do. He's never once crapped on your dream. And
Ever.
he's always been like, I push.
Yeah.
Because she drives, but we all need somebody to help
Yes.
push. You know what I mean? Because we do have times when we stop, we sit back, and we're like, shit, it might be easier just to go back. And he's like, nope.
Yeah.
He pushes. She does the same thing for me, because I've stopped and be like, whoa, it's got to a point now where it's a little scary. We're a little deep. We're a little what? And she's like, nope, we're here. We keep going.
Yeah.
And so I think having somebody to push you through that, and then you get to the other side, and you're like, wow, I don't know if I would have made it there either as quick
100%.
or as easy or as well as I did had I not had that person there kind of pushing me.
Or I might be drowning,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So you get, like you said, you get out in the middle and you're like, okay, it's getting a little tough. Let's just stay here.
Yeah.
And
So
then
your partner's a female entrepreneur as well, correct?
Yeah.
So did you drive some information or get some inspiration from her as well? I mean, was that a bit of you're like, she's doing it,
Yeah.
like she can do it, and she's got
Yeah.
advice and
Yeah.
her position. I'm sure she's had some adversity she's had to fight
Yeah.
through in the men's world, so to speak.
absolutely.
So how did that kind of inspire you and push you?
Well, I've known her for, quite some time now. I actually met her through training. I was her personal trainer. And we formed a friendship through that. And I really did not know much about her. But I found out, she owned Fidelity Communications, which is one of the biggest communications things around.
Yeah.
Right.
She's very successful. She knows a lot about, business, HR, how to run it. And so, anytime I have questions, I do run them by her. I'm like,
Sure.
and she knows. She's just a very inspiring, smart, really smart lady. I feel like she's probably one of the kindest humans too, which helps a lot. She's just, I don't know, I just admire her a lot.
And you work very well then together.
We do.
Her strengths
We
and
do.
your strengths.
She's she's a little more laid back. I do she just she's really laid back, and I'm like very micromanagey.
Absolutely.
So I feel like it works out because she's laid back, and then I'm there micromanaging, and then you got Alicia putting out fires, taking care of things, So between the three of us, I feel like we are handling it really well.
Absolutely.
Why don't you run us through a day from when you get into how the end of the day? Give me a best case scenario and a worst case scenario day.
From best case scenario was, I was gonna say today, where we just come in and we leave. I have turned the
did.
phones
We
off.
You
showed
was
up
on the
and
phone in the
left.
back. I seen you. You were talking about something on a door.
So we've had people already message us hey, you guys in the office? Where you at? And I'm like, we're in the office until noon. I'm like, just gonna put our phones down and like just ignore it for a moment.
It's just hard. But
Very
necessary.
hard.
Yeah.
I have a huge issue with that. I can be in the gym doing things off the clock, and I have to help people. Like, it's like my strength and my weakness. Like we were talking about that on the way here. I don't have an off button for work, which is good and not good at the same time for home life. But coming in the office, pretty much we just stock everything, make sure everything's kind of clean and tidy. We have a great cleaning lady that also helps with that, because I don't think I could get through the day without her.
Literally probably the cleanest gym I've ever been into.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
And they're cleaning the whole time I'm there. There's somebody cleaning.
Yeah.
And so if people aren't cleaning their own things, you guys got somebody walking around every single time I've ever been in there. And I've been there at 8 o'clock in the morning. I've been there at 8 o'clock at night. There's always somebody spotting.
We take pride in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes a huge
The
difference.
bathrooms are always super
Absolutely.
clean because people are obnoxiously, oh my gosh.
It's
Especially like the men's bathroom is always super clean, but I've been in there when people are not being the cleanest in there. And I'm like,
I've scraped poop off the walls.
such a
so
nerd. Yeah. Like, you're like, go home. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Terrified to go in there.
It's a
after
shower in here. It's a nice place
you
to be.
literally, I have to like say a prayer before I walk in every time. And like usually I'm cleaning it as you're trying to get in there to go to the bathroom.
The
so
last time she finally looked over, she's like, the employee bathroom's right there.
just
go
use
to
it.
that one real
Yeah.
quick. Yeah.
Yes.
That's awesome. So then is that the worst case scenario day for you? You got to deal with that kind of
No,
stuff?
that's actually the great case scenario.
wow.
Other than like the worst case scenario is just maybe going in and like the toilet's actually flooding. I've only had that happen once, and it was halfway bad. They had it happen right before I got there, where it was absolutely terrible. It was like completely flooded for like a good hour.
Oh, no.
And just machines just like having like the little like glitches where I have to go in and be a mechanic that I'm not. But I figure it out very fast. That's probably the more of the worst case scenario days.
Yeah.
But they're not like you cannot not do them. Like it's
Right.
you can get it done.
Necessary.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's not anything that I have to completely like fret about and get nervous. Like this is something we can't fix. So everything so far has been fixable. Is that real wood?
Yes.
So even like my bad days aren't even like what most people would consider
Sure.
a bad day.
Because you
So
love your job and you love where you work.
I do. I think
Right.
that's pretty much an understatement.
Also into fitness yourself as well, right? I feel like you
Yes.
got to kind of have a passion for that to be in that atmosphere and be
Yes,
around
I've
that
been in
that
the fitness
environment.
for the last like 10 plus years. So this is definitely where I thrive at for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So do me a favor and tell me from the concept of the muscle bar, like where were you at? When did this come up? And you're like, you know what? Because you were a personal trainer. We'll just throw a little bit of context out
Yeah.
there. You were a personal trainer. You went through everything you needed to do to get all your certifications and really got involved in personal training and did that for quite a while.
Yeah.
Did it at other gyms. And then at one point there was just like, it was like, you know what? We're just going to open up our own gym and do things differently because I'm looking at the way other people are doing it, because this is how a lot of good businesses start. They start to pull the good and the bad from other businesses around and go, we're missing something. And whatever that's missing, I need to create it over here because I think everybody would love it.
Yeah.
And so how did that go from an idea to let's get it on paper and let's do this?
Well, so like you said, I had worked at a gym previously. So I kind of saw how it had been run, you know, how, the do's and the don'ts and the ins and outs. And I paid attention, you know, because I knew in my mind that opening a gym was always something that I was interested in, but never really thought I could or would do. It was just, oh, that'd be a fun idea. So, but I always paid attention and like watched how things were done. And, you know, I've worked out in quite a few gyms, and I took ideas that I liked from one place and then what I didn't from the other, and, you know, kind of compiled them all together in my brain and just went about my day. And then I was doing online training, and I just kept talking about how I wanted to open a gym. And Cody, my husband, was like, okay, so you keep talking about it, but when are you actually going to do it? I was like, probably never.
Someday.
Yeah.
Maybe someday.
Yeah, it'd be cool. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
it'd just be cool. He goes, no, well, what steps do you need to take to make this happen? And I was like, I don't know, maybe, you know, this, and this. He goes, okay, so let's get started. He's like, stop talking about it and just do it. So he really was the genesis for it. He was my motivation. And so I was like, you know what? Why couldn't I do this? Everyone else can do stuff. Why can't I? And so, you know, I took it to Kathy, and she was like, I've been wanting to open a gym too, but I just never did. So let's go. And then from then
Just
on.
started putting
I
everybody
literally was like, go from that moment. Found a building. It was the first building we looked at. Got our LLC. Got a contractor. Like, I just went full force at that point. And
So a really important lesson right there that we try to teach people also is where that opportunity meets action, nothing gets accomplished unless we take action. You know, so it's the thought process behind this seems like a really good idea. I want to do this. One day that would be great. It's all that. But till something happens and there's this paradigm shift, whether it's in your mindset or somebody who motivates you, pushes you, for you to actually take action, nothing ever gets accomplished.
Right.
Then look what happens when you finally take action. Like stuff just starts moving, and then it's moving
fast.
Yeah. And then it's like,
Fast.
oh gosh, like they've ripped this building out and now they're painting it and our colors are in here and now we're putting the floor down and the machines show up one day and
Yeah.
now we got to put the machines together and
we've told people about it, and
we
people
tell
know.
them, yeah.
And like, so now,
And now
we
you gotta see
can't
it
go
through.
back. You
Yeah.
know, now we have like a phone number and a Facebook, and you know, and it's just
and now you're adding all kinds of stuff all the time between equipment. You're adding classes. How many personal trainers do you guys have there now?
3.
If they're your personal trainers, do they have specific things that they kind of expertise?
Yeah,
specialize in?
everybody has their things that they specialize in, that they like to do more. Allie, she is, you know, she lost like 150 pounds.
Yeah, her journey's crazy.
She's like killing it. So she is the person, you know, that lots of ladies like to go to when they want to, like, you know, make transformations. So that's like really her little area of specialties. And then Cordell, he likes to work with people with injuries.
Okay.
PT, you know, older people, things like that. That's what he specializes in. Seth, he really enjoys working with the youth, athletes, the kids' classes, that sort of thing. But those are really kind of different areas that they each kind of thrive in.
Sure. So for me, it sounds like, too, the key to your success, too, is building your confidence that you can do this, and having Cody pushing you, telling you, let's go.
Yeah, because I really did not have any.
Yeah,
you know.
And so confidence is really key, I think.
I still don't have much, but like when I start to go down, like he's like, come on, suck it up, let's go. Too late now. You're
have to
there.
Be confident in
you're in it.
yourself and your abilities. You really do.
Yeah.
And until you push yourself and try, you're never gonna know.
Yeah.
You know.
And you know, it was one of those things where I could have failed, and
Absolutely.
you know what I mean. And it was a very big possibility, and I knew that. But I still wanted to try. I was like, you know what? If I don't try, I'm never gonna know.
Right.
Like I could fail, and I might. But what if I don't? Like, what if this actually works out? It could. And Cody's like, no, you're not gonna fail.
Right.
That's not an option. So get that out of your head. I was like, okay. So.
It's that
But
mindset,
how
man.
positive too for your kids to see.
Yeah.
That this is yours. I mean, they have to be very proud of you also.
Yeah.
They really do.
They love being there.
Uh-huh.
They loved. My daughter wants to go work out all the time. I guess she said that one of her classmates said that I'm the president of Sullivan.
That's awesome.
So,
I'll take it.
yeah, I'm like, okay. She told me this, 2 days ago, that I'm the president of Sullivan, and they heard I'm dating Jake Paul.
Nice.
Love that for
Nice.
you. Sorry, Cody.
I was like, yeah.
Sorry,
I was like,
Jake Paul, because
yeah.
he's about to get trashed. so.
Yeah, I sure hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're a local celebrity in their eyes.
Apparently, yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's cool. And they always want to wear muscle bar shirts, and they're just super proud, and they always tell everybody all about it. So
I have seen something that I want to address that's super important. Gyms that I have noticed, we'll take like, I'm just going to throw some of them out there, like Planet Fitness, Snap. Those are 2 big ones. Anytime depends on the owner of Anytime. I've seen some really great owners and then some I don't really much care for. But the one thing that the Muscle Bar does really great that I do not see any of them doing is creating a culture. You guys are creating, this brand is a culture. Like people wear this because they're proud to work out there. They're proud to call you guys friends. They're proud to be a part of the community that you guys are creating. And so when they come there, it's not just about working out. Like a lot of other places I worked at, like people are just there. You got stupid sirens going off. You're a little too loud.
Yeah.
Just dumb stuff. I don't feel like that's a very good gym culture. And I believe that when you embrace this side of things, it also takes that stigma away from the musclehead crap away. Because, yeah, do some people come in there and lift and get big and do stuff? But I promise you, they're probably the nicest people in the gym if you talk to them.
Absolutely.
They're the most helpful. They're the ones that would be willing to help you, spot you, show you techniques, anything. And so this whole idea that the bigger you are, you know, the more of a douche you are, I just think is ridiculous.
Absolutely.
And when you create a culture that embraces that and people really take it into consideration, you find that it creates a community that people actually love to be a part of.
Yeah. We like to think of it as just like a big family, gang, group. I don't know. It's when you're there, you'll find, like you said, you'll walk in, you'll see people doing cardio. You'll see people lifting heavy. You'll see people who, still are a little uncomfortable in the gym. But what everybody has in common is that they're all there to better themselves, to help each other if they need. It's not an intimidating environment at all. That's not what we strive to have.
Right.
We want it to be all inclusive. We want everybody to feel like they could work out there. And I feel like we are accomplishing that because we have so many people tell us that. They'll message me personally. They'll message the page. They'll put, reviews on Google about how they feel that way. And that to me is the best thing. That's all I could ask for,
Huge
really.
compliment.
Yeah, huge compliment.
Yeah, and I've even had people, like, I've looked at them, I smile at everybody. I usually keep my head down for the most part with my headphones on, because otherwise I won't get anything done.
Yep.
But I've heard people kind of beat themselves up a little bit. You can tell it's probably like their first week, day, I don't know. And I'm like, hey, you're here.
Yeah.
You're here. That's more than the other people outside can say. So don't beat yourself up, because you've already made a step that they didn't make.
Yep.
You're in here. So maybe you're not where that person's at, and that's where you want to be, and that journey might be a couple of years down the road, but you're in here already. So just stick to it. You know? And I think it's important for people to understand that health and fitness is a super important part. Not only is it a super important part to your health, but entrepreneurship in general. How do you think that your image has improved you as a business owner, as an entrepreneur? How does that boost your confidence? Because now you're actually starting to get really heavy into some building, some bodybuilding, are you not?
Yeah,
Yes.
I am. I feel like just the fact that I can be there all day really helps, because for a lot of people, their biggest struggle is getting into the gym. I own a gym. I'm there all day. So it's a lot easier for me. But I feel like I have gained some confidence because clearly people are liking the product that I'm putting out, which is all I could ever ask for. I do feel like as a person, I am becoming more confident, but I'm also a lot more self-conscious too, because I have imposter syndrome. I feel like I don't belong. I'll go to, big events in town where all the, highfalutin people are, and I immediately have panic attacks. I don't feel like I belong. I have severe imposter syndrome. So that's something I'm still battling with. But I feel like the bodybuilding thing, it's just a form of me working towards that confidence, I think.
An expression of who you feel like you are on the inside, on the outside.
Yeah. I know, I enjoy fitness, and I feel like that just, I don't know, if I can be confident in that, maybe I can be more confident in business too.
Absolutely. And it's only been a year, so
Yeah.
you do have to give yourself some time, and you will definitely grow and build that confidence in yourself, but definitely know that you are an inspiration to a lot of women, especially owning your own business, looking like you do. I mean, that is something that I would go in there and say, if she can do this, she could teach me how to do this. You know what I mean? On all different levels.
If I can do it, literally anybody can do it.
And inspire to do whatever. I mean, you've got trainers in there that have made huge transformations in both directions. You've had people that were small and put on muscle. You've had people that were big, got small, put on muscle. It's all possible. You can do anything.
You've
done
can.
75 hard 50 times and completed it. That's more than most people
I
can
have an
complete it
addiction
once.
to it, I think.
She has more willpower than anybody I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing sometimes, but we just go for it.
Yeah, I mean, that's all you can do sometimes. Like I said, you got to take action. You just got to go for it. But I just think it is awesome to have created something within our community that everybody is happy to go to, happy to be there, not intimidated to be there. I haven't been in there because there's all walks of life in there, and I've never been in there one time where I felt any malice or ill will towards anybody or any of that. Sometimes the kids get a little annoying, but that is what it is, the gym kids in the evening. But even them, they're not that bad.
Yeah.
They're really not too bad. They're getting
bad.
more respectful about things, because I think you guys kind of laid the hammer down quite a bit. But
That's my favorite part.
Right?
I'm like,
That's her job.
That's her job.
That's
And
definitely
she's good at it.
Yeah.
She's good at it. She handles it very well. She handles it respectfully, but also very firmly.
Yeah.
The kids also take my office as the hangout spot too, so I feel like I have that connection with them to where I can talk to them without yelling at them
It's
and
a
getting on
respect.
to them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that also helps a lot, that they do feel comfortable even coming into my office just to talk about their day. I've had a few literally just come in, like, have
And
a
they
rough
need
day.
that connection sometimes with
Yeah.
an adult.
And I love it. I'm like, it's like I have more kids. They call me
Yes.
Gym Mom, so I'm here for it.
That's awesome.
that
Gym
is
mom.
good.
Yeah.
Or Alicia.
Or Alicia.
Oh.
Yeah, which I'm also here for.
So what is your goal, like, for the next 5 years? Like, what does that look like for you? I mean, are you wanting to expand? Are you wanting to...
We are wanting to expand. We're wanting to franchise out. We want to have a headquarters, like a very large headquarters that's like has all kinds of amazing things. Almost like First Form.
Yeah.
Sure.
yeah.
I
Sure,
really,
absolutely.
really look up to that company and their business model. And I've been to their HQ a few times, and it's incredible. And that's kind of what I strive for. Or like Alpha Land. Have you heard of Alpha
I have,
Land?
yep.
Something like that. We want to go on a much larger scale, but locally. And I also want to franchise out, maybe even some sort of a muscle bar clothing line. I have ideas.
I
Yeah.
like it. Athletic wear.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah. I have
Yeah, and I
ideas.
think you should pursue all those things.
Yeah.
Because like you said, if you don't try it, you're never going to know.
Yeah.
You know, and some of them might not fail, but it's reps.
Yeah.
You just do it over and over and over again.
Yeah, most of them probably will fail, maybe, but I don't know.
Oh.
You know-
Confident. It is
No,
gonna
no, no.
be
See, that's
fine.
where's Cody?
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, like,
I will help you with the clothing line. I love that
Okay,
stuff.
perfect.
and I feel like knowing you and Cody, you guys are become different animals than you used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're getting into a bodybuilding, so you're prepping for bodybuilding competition. Cody just did a death march.
Yeah.
And was it New Mexico or Arizona?
Yeah.
Or was it, I mean,
New Mexico.
His feet were like falling off when he was done.
Yeah.
And he runs like, I think he told me he clocked like 300 miles last month or something.
He
I
runs
mean,
like 20 miles a day.
it's crazy.
Like it's nothing.
But he went from doing none of that, just lifting, to,
Yeah.
you know what, I'm going to David Goggins the world. And
Yeah.
so he just started running because his mind was like, I'm going to do this. And
Yeah.
the harder it was, the more he's like, I'm doing this. Because I was talking to him probably last week, and I said, you remember when I seen you at the top of the road and you had just finished like 3 miles down to the end of Watson and back, and you were like, I barely finished. My leg's cramping up because he had shattered his ankle
Yeah.
and injury at one point in time, and now he's running 300 miles a month.
It's insane.
And doing death march. But you're the same way. Like both of you guys are just like, you know what? How far can I push? How hard can I push? If you take that mindset into your business, which
Yeah.
I think you are, but if you lose that imposter syndrome and go,
Yeah.
you know what? Damn it, I deserve to be in this
Yeah.
room because I earned it. I
Yeah.
earned to be in this room. You know what I mean? Like really look at everything you've accomplished and look at what you're moving towards and go, I don't care what anybody thinks.
Yeah.
You know, I appreciate that people are clapping for me. I
Yeah.
appreciate that they're saying, hey, good job, but I don't really need it
Yeah.
because I know what I'm doing.
Right.
Get my head wrapped around that, and when I walk in that room at the who's who, you all are gonna slowly fade into obscurity, and the next who's who might be me, and I want somebody that somebody looks up to, because some of those people in that room I don't look up to. Some of them I look like they've just been looking down on me my whole life, and now I'm coming up and they want to do business with you, and you're like, hey, you didn't talk so great about me when I was younger, but the people coming up below me are gonna know who I am because they respect it, and I want to help them.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the community you
Yeah.
guys have created.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know, speaking to the people who like don't want to help you, that sort of thing, I've had so many people to my face that are like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you. That gym's not going anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. I've had to
Yes.
deal with a lot of that, so much of that. And it's like people now are like, oh my gosh, I knew you could do it the whole time.
And I really think that's probably a perception of where you, probably who you used to be to who you became. You know what I
Maybe,
mean? They knew the old Nicole. And then the new Nicole, they didn't get to know yet. And once they get to finally know who she is, they're like, well, damn, maybe I just didn't
Yeah.
understand.
They've
She's
never
boss now.
She's boss
She's a
now,
boss.
yeah, she's-
they've
she
never
does it
seen me
different.
motivated. And
Right.
that's the thing is I'm very stubborn.
Oh,
You can ask
God,
Cody.
yeah.
I'm very stubborn. So
I'll answer for Cody.
but when I get my mindset on something, I'm very hyper focused on it,
Sure.
and I won't let off. And it's just like grudges. I'll hold grudges till I die with people, and that's just who I am as a person. I'm very stubborn. I'll hold grudges, and I also feel like people telling me I couldn't do it and people thinking that I couldn't do it pushed me even further,
Yeah.
and it definitely fueled my fire.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, okay, you don't think I can do that? Watch me,
Yes.
and watch me do it, and
Yes.
watch me do it well.
And then
So-
when you succeed in that, that should be all the validation that you
Yeah,
need.
it feels pretty good.
Yes.
It
And you
has
just stack those wins. You stack them, and then, like I said, that imposter syndrome slowly starts to fade away because you're like, I actually earned to be, I've got a whole stack of receipts as to why I deserve to be here.
Yeah.
So I don't really care what anybody thinks.
Right.
So,
And that's the
And
goal.
just a funny backstory. I mean, we all worked together at Walmart.
We
Back when
did.
we were 16,
That's right.
And
Yes.
look how far we've come.
Yeah.
I mean, it is amazing.
Yeah,
And
I was a cashier.
Yes.
You were a cart pusher,
Yep.
and you were a CSM.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
We all at the same time.
just kids.
Yeah.
And now, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Running your own business and stuff. I mean, it has been amazing to see you grow.
Thank you.
And,
You guys too.
You know,
Absolutely.
You guys
and
are freaking killing it.
be a part of
trying
our
our best.
family because
Yes.
Cody
Yeah.
is our
Cody is my
brother-in-law.
brother.
Yeah.
So
my
she
brother-in-law.
is my
So-
sister-in-law.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
So,
but I.
small
We're gonna
world.
take over the world,
Oh,
guys.
we're taking it over. We're
We
gonna
got
take
it.
over Sullivan at least, and then we'll
Let's do
work
it.
on the world.
Yeah.
I feel like Solomon's pretty much ours.
Yeah. I mean, we tried and it didn't take much, but no, I'm joking. But I do really like to emphasize the fact that as fun as that is to be like, you know, we accomplish these things and that we feel like somebody within our community, we're trying to get back.
Absolutely.
We're trying to help. I mean, even in this journey that we're on, this is us helping other entrepreneurs and other couples and stuff going, hey guys, like you can do this.
Yeah.
We've done it for over 22 years. So now we're giving back too and saying, hey, we're not just holding all the secrets to how we did things. We want to explain to you how it's
Right.
doable, how you can scale this, how the blueprint.
Well,
how
you
can
guys
do
have been
this.
doing this for a while, and people are just now like figuring out, I think, like about you guys. But you know, I've known you guys for a long time, and Shelly, you have been like the behind the scenes, you know, person for a long time. You know, Cody was like, Shelly, like, is his backbone. She does all the business stuff. Like, she really is a huge part of Bobby's business.
Oh, that's really nice.
And he told me
to
that.
say.
He told me that years ago, like
Uh-huh.
when we first
She's
met.
always been like the ultimate silent partner, and
Yeah.
it wasn't because I made her that way. She just
Yeah.
didn't care to be on the forefront.
Right.
It wasn't until we started doing the podcast and we opened the Limitless Vitality group that she's like, because she's a big part of that. When we do couple stuff, she's the couple that we're doing that with. So she's like, you know what? You're doing this. I can do this too. I'm like,
Yeah.
you want to come do the podcast? She's like, absolutely. I'm like,
I love
same
it.
thing as Cody. I'm like, let's go. And then there's been days where she's like, I don't. I'm like, nope. You're coming. We're going.
Too deep. It's
Yep.
too deep.
Yeah, we've already started.
Yeah.
You're a part of it. We've got 2 microphones in here, and so you're going.
I
So,
love it. You guys are
Yeah.
killing it. I love seeing you guys together. Like, I love seeing you in the forefront now because
Yeah.
you've been behind the scenes for so long. I love seeing you out there,
Thank
putting yourself
you.
out there.
Thank you. That really makes my day. It truly
It
does.
I love it so much. Like, it makes me want to cry,
We're
honestly.
inspiring
No,
each
for
other
real. I
here.
told Cody, I was like, I think it's so great that Shelly's like out now. Like, people are knowing about her
Yeah.
because you've been doing the damn thing for a long time.
Thank you. Thank you.
She really has, and I don't think I'm like I'm the first person to be like, I never gave her enough credit for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of times people are just like, Bobby. I'm like, it's not just me. I can't
But-
do all of this if she wasn't doing everything else. I've got 4 kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think they just take care of themselves? You know,
Right.
I've got all kinds of payroll and all kinds of business stuff and stuff that has to be filed. You think all that stuff, you think I got time to do that
Right.
while I'm driving a truck when I was driving a truck? No. You know,
Yeah.
there's somebody else that runs all that behind
Yeah.
the scenes. I didn't have a bunch of employees. I didn't hire we'll call it a Helen, because a lot of people have got a Helen. I've got one now. He's called John. But I mean, we'll call him like, you know, executive assistant, so to speak. You know, it's your right hand person that kind of runs things. She was that person forever, and she was mom, and she was wife. You know, and she was my shoulder to lean on, and she was the person that pushed me when I had a hard time. And so it's great for her to step up and, like you said, kind of be on the forefront now with me, because now it's not just Bobby, it's Bobby and Shelly, and everybody's like, well, who are these people? And I'm
Right.
like, we've been here for over
Yeah.
15 years. We're just now coming to everybody.
Yeah,
So,
people are just now learning about you guys, but I mean,
Right.
I've known about you guys for a long time. But even before, you know, that I knew you had your own trucking business, and you've got so many other businesses going on right now. But I mean,
Do you have any questions for us? Anything you would like to ask or no?
how do you do it? How do you manage so many businesses and like still not lose your minds?
We work very well together.
Yeah.
And some days you do think, you know, because we have had disagreements and stuff as far as different business ventures and what we do and don't do.
Right.
And some days you wonder, you know, how can we, like we've recently opened Man Up in Washington.
Everybody
And so
loves that place.
It's been growing.
We've
It's doing great.
received very, very, very well by a lot of people. So
Yes.
we're very, very excited and happy about that. It's just a franchise as well. So.
Right. But I mean, it's still like people are coming in, they're asking me questions about it. They're asking Alicia questions about it. They're taking your cards.
Yeah, they come to us and say, hey, we came from
Yeah.
there.
Yes.
You know, and I'm like, oh, thank you so much. You know, we really appreciate it. But we're doing kind of like you guys did. We created a culture, and for us, it's a culture of education. And that whole aspect of things, people don't understand the education behind it. They don't understand why they're taking what they're taking, why they might need it, or why they feel the way they do. And so we kind of embrace that side of that industry, and that's been received very well.
Yeah. And, you know, people are always like, oh, I feel this way. I'm like, well, have you gotten blood panels run? Like, do you know, like, you might be short on some sort of a deficiency? Like, go get a blood panel ran at Man Up and let them help you.
Yeah.
Well,
And
thank you
then,
for recommending
then they
it.
do. And then they're like, oh, wow, I feel so much better. It's like, yeah, you're missing things that you didn't know you were missing. But it's great that places like that are around because, you know, sometimes you don't want to go to the doctor.
Right.
They don't always they don't always look at every aspect of what runs you as a person. It's more like, are you dying? But did you die though?
Right.
But did you die?
Right.
So
Yeah.
you're okay. You're
or
still kicking.
yeah, or they just want to like band-aid it, like give you.
Yeah.
But you know, you go there, and you guys have nurse practitioners, you have nurses, you have professionals in that area that can specify what they need and, you know, get them a plan to feeling better. And it's not just a band-aid; it's an actual remedy for, you know, for them. And so that's great.
Yeah. But I feel like for us, like, time is definitely huge. Working with each other and kind of delegating those responsibilities. This is really what you're responsible for. This is what I'm responsible for.
And lanes. I mean, if that's what I said I'm responsible for, and that's what
We
she
try to
said,
stay in our
so
lane.
I try to stay in my lane.
That's hard sometimes.
do.
It is very difficult. For me, it's very difficult. Not so much for her, but it
me
is
it
for
is,
me
yeah.
because I'm used to micromanaging everything. I would say two big key things for us, because business in general typically tends to sacrifice relationships. You know, because you were so invested in that, the relationship takes the hit because you're so hyper focused on the business. We had to understand that even though there's 3 of them running, you know, and there's only so many days in a week and there's only so many hours in a day, that we have to compartmentalize the fact that we do have a family at home. So when we get home, if we were on the phone up to that point, if we were together or whatever, we shut it down. It's for the kids.
Yeah.
You know, if there's some text message or something's got to go across, that's fine. But we're not going to sit here and argue about work. Not argue, but like discuss
Talk
work
about
or talk, be heated about things that might have happened or whatever. We're not doing that. We're giving the kids their time, and we give each other time. And one of the biggest things that I'll preach to everybody is communication. You need to be able to learn how to communicate well with your spouse. You need to take the criticism. You need to listen to it. Kind of evaluate. Is there any water behind it? If there isn't, talk back to them in a professional manner. Like, okay, if you say that, could you give me an example? And they give you an example. And I have to stop and look at myself sometimes and go, you know what? You're right. I was wrong. You know
Cody
what I
does
mean?
that to me too. He'll be like, he gives very constructive criticism, and sometimes it's stuff I don't want to hear.
Yes.
And like, I'll take it, and I'm like, I'll catch myself trying to be defensive, and I'm like, you know what? I just need to take this. Take it.
Just
think about it. Mull on it. He's probably right. You know what I mean? He's like, well, have you thought of it this way? Or what if you did this? You know, and sometimes it's not the right thing, but a lot of times it is. I'm like, oh, well, you know what? Maybe I didn't think of it that way. But sometimes it's hard to accept.
And sometimes when you, like, too, are owning the business, it's hard to see it from an outsider a little bit. Like, Cody can see it a little bit different because he isn't in it every day, owning it, running it like you are. So it just makes a difference.
And it does work pretty well because he's on the outside looking in, you know, from a member's standpoint, you know, not from an owner's. So he sees things from, you know, the consumer, like what would he like to have, and
but also somebody who has your back. and
Yeah,
your best
exactly,
interest in mind.
exactly.
So it's not just, it's constructive criticism.
Right.
You know, he's saying, hey, I see this. I think it would be better for you if you would try it this way.
Yeah.
She's came to me about concepts that I had going, and she's like, I think you're looking at it wrong. I'm like, explain it to me. So she breaks it all down, and I go, just go do what you're doing. Let me think about that for a minute. So I'll break it all down, and she'll come back and be like, you're absolutely right, because I was looking at it from my eyes as, say, so I replace myself with somebody. Now, the role that I played within that company is different than the role the person that I replaced, you know, runs, because he's not the owner. He's just the entrepreneur that took my place. The problem was I was treating that person as if it was me. Well, it's not me.
Right.
So I was doing it wrong. And then when I went to her, she exposed that, and I'm like, you know, it's a vulnerability that I didn't see before. And so it was constructive criticism. I know she was looking out for the company, and she was looking out for me and my best interest. And so if I'm going to take anybody's crap, it's going to be hers over anybody's, because, you know, if somebody else throws something at me, I'm going to check it over to her and be like, what do you think about that?
Yeah, because she doesn't want to see you fail.
Right.
Correct. No, she doesn't at all. Yeah.
And that's why I feel like sometimes I talk to you like my husband and my partner and stuff. But then sometimes I have to talk to you almost like a business colleague because we're in it together, but I need you to see my point of view also.
Yeah, and you're smart enough and you understand everything enough that, like I said, that communication's just, it's detrimental. It really is key because, and then that just makes our bond super strong. Super, super strong.
I was at Muddy Banks one night, and I was leaving, and I saw you guys walking in together, and you guys were holding hands like teenagers. It was so cute. I told Cody, I was like, I saw Bobby and Shelly holding hands walking into Muddy Banks.
Yeah, we're better now than we were 20 years ago, by far. And we should be almost miles apart. But there came a time when I had a mindset shift, and I wanted to level up. And when I did that, one of two things was going to happen. Either I was going to leave her behind,
right?
Because
not going to let that happen,
right?
Or she was coming with me,
right?
And I think when she seen me pushing, her mind went to, I don't want to be left behind. So I went, I don't want to leave you behind. That was never my intention. She's like, but I don't know what to do. And so then I just started pulling her. Yeah. And then when I started pulling her, then she picked herself up and started running. I'm like, shit, now I'm trying to catch up.
Yeah. She's like, come on.
Yeah. So now we're just hand in hand. And now we just basically, instead of going this way, we went this way. And so
sometimes it's like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But either way, you guys are both going up together. Yeah. So
that's super, super important. You know, that's something that I think would be like top key thing that you really, really got to put some work into, because it's so easy to get defensive and it's so easy to just be mad and yell and get it out. But yelling never fixes anything. It only creates a bigger gap. And I have found when I just say, like, listen to what she's saying, or when I give it to her, and I told her once upon a time, I think one of the shifts we had was, you are the only person that can either settle me down off the cliff or light me and send me to the moon. Like, you can blow me up or you can chill me out. It's the way you handle that situation is entirely up to you. I promise you. And when she received that from me, and the next time we had an issue, she talked to me a certain type of way, immediately pulled me down. Yeah. Later on, we revisited that, like, hours later, and I'm like, I understood that you did that. Like, I just want to let you know that I noticed that you did that for me, and it meant the world to me. Yeah. Also, communication. You know, I went back to her and said, hey, I did recognize that you did that. Really appreciated it. And it's just been game-changing since then. Yeah. Because now that's the way we communicate with each other.
Just like words of affirmation mean everything. Yeah. You know, sometimes, you know, I'm super stressed out because, you know, I'm running a household. You know, we have a bunch of kids, you know, trying to run a business and, you know, trying to, you know, train for this competition. And I just have a lot of fires going, and you know, sometimes I get overwhelmed and stressed, and like sometimes Cody will have to be like, you know what, I see you, you're doing awesome, like I want you to know that I appreciate everything you're doing, and that means everything.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes you just feel like you're just doing it all the time. And
sometimes like with the kids, I mean, the kids and all their after school stuff and everything like that, like for a mom and for dads and stuff. I mean, it's hard.
But more so for moms.
I think so.
More so for moms, because we have more of that responsibility. Like a man's job is to go to work, come home, and, you know, whatever. But moms, we have to take care of the kids, the house, the laundry, everything. Everything has to be taken care of, and it's on us. So I feel like women have it a little harder,
and
for
you don't want the kids to feel that stress or anything.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, because there are days that you go home and you're like, by the night, you know, when I'm laying down, it's like 10:30, 11 o'clock. I'm like, I feel like I messed up today. Yeah. You know, I didn't give the kids enough time, or I didn't talk to them enough, or I didn't answer their questions.
The guilt. The mom guilt.
It's tough.
It is.
Yeah.
Next day, tomorrow I'm going to do better.
Yeah,
and
you just do the best you can. Every day, you're just doing your best. It is hard.
I agree 100%. Well, I'm going to have to wrap it up.
Okay.
Because we'll just sit here and talk all day. This is what we do. I love talking to people.
I love it too.
Yeah. So, where can people find you? Tell us where exactly you're at, and where can they find you on social media, and where can they find you on the internet?
We are at 216 West Main Street in Sullivan, Missouri. We are the Muscle Bar. Our phone number is 573-468-2090. Am I looking at the right?
Yep.
Okay.
All
and then www.themusclebarsullivan.com.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for coming today. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it. And keep killing it.
Yes.
Keep killing it.
You guys keep killing it too. Women power.
Women power right here.